Hello! 3 things that are great about Capricorns. This also goes for those who have Sun in the house of Capricorn, which basically means the same thing. Um, where to begin? I think the first thing is dependability. Capricorns are, in so many ways, the most reliable person that you could have having your back. Having somebody who's so solid, who's so effective, who's so practical, so logical, so in general calm and able to, I think there's multiple things here. To be a very effective helper, friend, colleague, coworker, boss, whatever, partner is one thing, but there's also a sense of duty that Capricorns have. So I think that's probably one of the most valuable things. Is in addition to their skills, Capricorns are just reliable. A lot of people don't understand this about Capricorns, but Capricorn and Cancer are like two sides of the same coin. So Cancer is well known for being empathetic and compassionate and very loving and very caring with their loved ones in particular. But Capricorn, again, is the other side of the coin. So Capricorns are just as caring. They just go about it in a bit more of a logical way. And I think a good thing about this is Capricorns are there for you. God, I can't. There's so many examples to pull from where I've just been in a bind and I had to call a friend who was a Capricorn from just having to drive to another city 5 hours away at short notice because I didn't have my passport to be able to go and study abroad. You know, there's so many examples. But whenever I'm in a bind, I have a couple of close friends that are Capricorns that I rely on so much, and vice versa too. I'm happy to give back too, and I think that's a really great thing about Capricorns is they don't suffer fools gladly. So if you're doing your part and you ask them for help, then they'll be there for you if they can, of course, but that's something that's great about Capricorn because a lot of, I would say, the water, who comes to mind is like Pisces and Virgo in particular. They're so selfless and that they're so giving, and that's beautiful, but sometimes they kind of fall into circles of giving and helping other people, and they're not necessarily, it's not really in a good situation for either of them, but because of maybe their selflessness and this not really understanding particularly the importance of being completely independent in a way, the Capricorn is more on that wavelength of understanding when to not help, because they know that in helping they might actually hurt in that respect. And of course, it depends on the Capricorn. Some Capricorns go too far with this and they're like, no, you need to be completely self-sufficient, I'm not helping you with anything, and it's okay, that's not ideal. But honestly, I think that's a very small amount of Capricorns. Most Capricorns are there for you and you can count on them, and they have a good sense of, oh, okay, this person's doing their best, I can step in and help. And also, actually, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do that for you because you maybe need to do that for whatever reason. You need to develop that skill or just develop that self-sufficiency. So that's a beautiful thing. 2, ability to be humble. I think what's so cool about Capricorns is you strive so much and you accomplish so much and you achieve so much, and yet at the end of the day there's such a natural sense of just earthiness, of earth energy about you, where yes, you can afford fantastic things once you realize your Capricorn ambition and your passion, and you run the gamut with it over time especially, and you achieve that status in your career. You can afford all sorts of things, but you have I think Capricorns are really wonderful for being able to balance that with understanding where money is not the most important thing in life in general, and being able to prioritize family, and here too, being on the other side of the coin of Cancer shines through Capricorn's value system of caring about family, being there for family, understanding that it's good to strive, it's good to work hard, it's good to grind, it's good to be able to afford whatever you want, or more importantly, whatever you need. But really what you need is very simple. That's true for all of us. But for Capricorns, there's a very solid understanding of this is what I need, and this would be nice. Like, yeah, I want my toy, I'd like a new, motorcycle or new whatever. But at the end of the day, like, this is what I need, and very simple. And why spend all this extra money when this is all the money that's really necessary to be able to get this, which I need? that's really beautiful. And just the humility in general of being able to not take themselves too seriously. Now, of course, if there's a lot of fire energy, sometimes that can be a little bit tricky. But generally speaking, most Capricorns do not take themselves seriously, no matter how much money they make, no matter how much they accomplish, no matter how much other people are, kissing their ass or whatever. That's a beautiful quality that we all can learn from. And I do want to say, though, sometimes it can go too far with Capricorns. Is one of the most important things is to not be too hard on yourself. That is essential. I think what it comes from is Saturn, the astronomical body. That planet is your ruling body. It's the planet that influences your life so much. And that planet is all about striving. And it's good to strive. But it's important to focus on improvement rather than blame or shame. Emotion should really have no part of your assessment of, okay, what am I doing? What could I do better, of improvement? It's like, take shame and guilt out of the equation completely. Throw it against the wall, bury it, burn it, whatever. But put a giant boulder on it and then it can't get out. Because ultimately, that's really important, to not let yourself hurt yourself emotionally, or not let other people hurt yourself emotionally too. Improvement analysis, that's always a good thing, but it should be a purely logical thing. There's no need to feel bad about what we can improve on in life. That's really important, because all too often Capricorns beat themselves up really harshly, especially if they don't perform to a certain level that they expect. And again, it's good to be ambitious. It's not to say that lower your standards. No, just be gentle with yourself while you go for those incredibly high standards, because you will get there. You will get there. It's just a matter of time, continuing forward. And indeed, being hard on yourself, too hard on yourself, it takes you back, So it's, for one, there's no need for it, and it's important to not hurt your heart like that and hurt your mind. But also, again, it can get in the way of your progress as well. The first reason is the most important and all you really need, but it's good to keep in mind. And third, your sense of purpose. That also comes from Saturn. I feel like every Capricorn naturally has this question always in their head, as per their life MO. And that is, how do I become excellent, and how do I contribute to the collective of humanity? How do I make society a better place? How do I be a pillar of excellence in my community so people can turn to me and respect me and have integrity and make the world a truly, tangibly better place? That's a phenomenal gift that, too, everybody can learn from. And that sense of purpose, I think that kind of permeates the dependability part, too. It's you naturally want to be there for your loved ones because you naturally have a sense of purpose of being there for people in general. Of course, to each Capricorn their own field of excellence, but there is that feeling of, okay, how do I achieve? How do I become that diamond? With all that pressure of Saturn, over time, my life really should be getting easier in a sense. It should be getting more fruitful, more fulfilling. There should be further layers of goodness and richness. I mean, sure, financially, sure, but more importantly, that feeling of purpose, that feeling of meaning in your life, and your skills, too, taking your skills to the next level always. That's a really exciting thing, and I think that's a very valuable thing, a very admirable thing when it comes to, again, contributing to humanity, helping humanity to operate better, focusing on quality as well as quantity. Again, like we were saying before, having a good value system to understand it's not all about money and making more and more. It's about, again, making things more meaningful. I have a ton of other videos on Capricorns, including a video on love advice for Capricorns. There's a lot of good stuff there, so feel free to check that out. I've been writing books for a couple years, and I'm finishing finally my first book, which is focusing on, over the next couple months I'll be finishing it. I already have the first half done, and the link for that is going to be in the description. And it's focusing on the psychological and spiritual insights that I've gained from studying astrology for the last decade. And I also have been working on a couple books of the sun signs, so going even more in depth into Capricorn, the moon signs, the rising energies, and then Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, midheaven. So that's on the way too in the next couple years. Again, all of that will be available in the link when they are ready. And besides that, as always, I'm doing readings, so in the description you can access the info to be able to message me and we can set up a reading and cover whatever you like. Love life, life purpose, struggling, things that you're challenging. You know, we all got challenges. It's all good. Nothing to be self-conscious about. You can work through those things and try and figure them out, as well as focusing on your gifts too. Absolutely. And it's always good to keep in mind that we are always more than our sun sign. I mean, it's good to not become defined by any particular energy or combination of energies. But, yeah, we have our moon energy, we have our rising energy. So if you've never seen your birth chart, go to alabe.com. I mean, there's many websites you could go to, but that's where I went about 11, 12 years ago, something like that, to be able to see my chart, and it blew my mind. It's changed my life, truly. And it's free, so that's awesome. So if you know your birth time especially, check out the rising energy. If you don't know birth time, disregard rising, and then check the moon energy at midnight and 11:59 p.m. See if it changes, see which moon energy appeals to you. But there's so much more to the chart, and especially if you know your birth time, wow, you can get a lot, not to mention the houses too. Again, that's what I'm for too. You could always Google and figure out what house your energies are in, but you could also come to a professional astrologer and help you figure that stuff out. But in any case, I have such a soft spot for Capricorns. You know, I got love for everybody, but I just appreciate the struggle that Capricorns go through, having so much pressure, especially early in life, and then being able to turn that pressure. Truly, I love that metaphor. It's a golden metaphor for Capricorn, to turn that pressure into diamond. Diamond of self, diamond of accomplishments. So as you're doing that, though, just be gentle to yourself and know that time is your best friend, and just keep going for it without hurting your psyche, without hurting your emotions. You'll get there, definitely. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Peace.